Barbie starts out as kind of in stasis. She's every day is essentially the same, and there's no shame, there's no aging, there's no death, there's no doors. And then one day she suddenly finds herself thinking about dying, and then everything starts falling apart, and then she fights that and ultimately has to learn how to embrace it.
What do I have to do? You have to go to the real world. You can go back to your regular life, or you can know the truth about the universe. The choice is now yours.
The first one, the high heel.
You have to want to know, okay? Do it again.
This infiltration of the real world and human-like thoughts and this consequential journey that she goes on and kind of ultimately leads her to a place where she has to accept that it is scary and things do change and you can't control things and things are complicated. And yeah, she gets to the real world and has this amazing scene where she's talking to like a young teenage girl who's pretty much saying all the things she hates about Barbie. Yeah. And she's, up until that point, was blissfully unaware that anyone had a problem with her.
Not all of us have like loving associations to Barbie, right? I was not a Barbie girl growing up. I did not play with Barbies. I couldn't afford Barbies. I also just like wasn't that interested because it was so, it didn't represent me, right? Like it was a standard of beauty that had nothing to do with me. And so, I didn't think that much about it, but it wasn't something that I felt connected to. And so acknowledging that like that's true for a lot of people, that people feel all kinds of ways about her. And I just think it's also hilarious to have that be a stand-in for, how we feel about women in general. Everyone's free to have an opinion about any woman and free to voice it, right? And that's true for like the real women and the ones we create.
Barbie in the real world. That's impossible.
If this got out, this could mean extremely weird things for our world. This would be catastrophic!
In the character of America Ferrera as Gloria is so, the speech is so beautiful and it still makes me cry even though I've seen it like 100 times more, 500 times, is I think, there's just an outrageous expectation we all place on ourselves to walk some impossible tightrope. And it's like too much this way, too much that way. And I think everyone lives with a certain amount of anxiety in that space. And I felt like if she could articulate it from her point of view, from her character, that it would sort of free people because they would be like, wait a minute, that's crazy. We can't do that. We can't move through the world this way. And so for me, it was something where when I started rehearsing it with America, she just brought so much of herself to it and made it so specific to her.
I was just so thrilled that Greta was asking me to play the character that is a human, exploring what it means to be a human through like the lens of Barbie, the things we create and the meaning we make of those things. And that speech, without giving away too much, is sort of like the thing that bonds Barbie to the real world and bonds Barbie to the human experience of like, here's this intersection where like, whether you're an idea or a real woman or a projection of something, like we live within these boxes that are imaginary and yet very powerful.
It's the best day ever.
It is the best day ever. So is yesterday, and so is tomorrow, and every day from now until forever. Do you guys ever think about dying?
What does the internet say? You understood the assignment?
I understood the assignment because I had to do it for you.
Ah, it's amazing. You look incredible. And the white boots.
Thank you.
Okay, Ty, when you're ready, go ahead.